A common perception holds the British monarchy as a latent weapon, an hidden authority capable of overriding the democratic will. On paper, the sovereign possesses the authority to declare war, dismiss governments, and veto legislation before it becomes law. The UCL Constitution Unit report provides a rigorous legal analysis of these powers to determine if any effective discretion remains in the hands of the monarch. These powers are categorised as the royal prerogative, the historic absolute authority that once resided directly in the sovereign. Today, those powers are defined by the current constitutional reality. They've been systematically fenced in. Over several decades, the political establishment systematically hollowed out the Crown's historic authority. A clear understanding of UK power depends on the specific legal constraints placed on the throne. In 1867, Walter Badger observed that a republic has insinuated itself beneath the folds of a monarchy. He differentiated between the dignified parts of the state, the ceremonial, and efficient parts, the functional machinery of governance. A structural map of the state shows the crown at the top. Lines of authority radiate to specific functions, summoning Parliament, appointing a Prime Minister, granting royal assent, declaring war, and ratifying treaties. Beneath these sit the nodes for Parliament and the executive branch. The executive branch still operates using the Crown's authority, which creates the appearance of monarchical power. The stability of this democratic republic relies on keeping the dignified Crown node severed from true mechanical power. The royal prerogative to appoint or dismiss a Prime Minister is the most prominent of these powers. A hung parliament, where no single party wins a majority, represents the only situation where a monarch could use personal choice. The 2011 Cabinet Manual was introduced specifically to eliminate any remaining monarchical discretion in these moments. Paragraphs 2.12 and 2.13 mandate that political parties must determine who can command the confidence of the House of Commons and communicate clearly to the sovereign who should lead the government. These rules force the parties to negotiate among themselves, presenting a finished result to the palace. As a result, the monarch is fully shielded from making any individual political choice regarding the nation's leadership. The power to choose the government is a strictly parliamentary function, handled entirely by party politics. Another historic power is the ability to dissolve Parliament and call a general election. The Fixed Term Parliaments Act 2011 removed this prerogative from the Crown's hands. Dissolution became subject to statutory thresholds, either a 2/3 vote in the House of Commons or a failed no-confidence vote. Other functions, known as executive prerogatives, migrated from the monarch directly to government ministers, powers like declaring war and ratifying international treaties. The 2010 Constitutional and Governance Act codified this shift, placing the ratification of treaties under parliamentary scrutiny. A political convention now requires the House of Commons to approve military deployments, seen in the Syrian and Iraqi intervention votes of 2013 and 2014. On the map, the dissolve node is removed. The war and treaties nodes move away from the Crown and connect directly to the executive. Parliament now oversees these transferred powers, keeping the executive within a specific regulatory framework. Even though powers delegated to ministers are contained by Parliament, leaving the monarch outside the process of constitutional agency. If the monarch possesses no everyday power, we have to look for the specific circumstances where the Crown might actually act. This is the deep reserve, the monarch's role as the ultimate constitutional long stop. The 2008 Canadian prorogation crisis remains a significant modern test for this reserve power. Facing a no-confidence motion, Prime Minister Stephen Harper requested that Parliament be prorogued or suspended to avoid the vote. The Governor-General granted the prorogation but insisted on strict conditions that forced Parliament to reconvene within weeks. The Deep Reserve functions as a failsafe intended only for use when the democratic machinery breaks down. The final map shows the Crown node sitting alone, severed from all efficient political and executive functions. The monarchy maintains its position through an evolutionary survival mechanism, soft civil utility. The monarchy absorbs the state's ceremonial burden, which allows the executive branch to focus on governance. This service monarchy is built on scale. The royal family manages 3,000 patronages and conducts nearly 3,000 official engagements every year. This soft power has an international reach, specifically through the role as head of the Commonwealth and its 53 member nations. Without constitutional agency, the monarchy survives by acting as a welfare and public relations wing of the state. Whether the public and the political class continue to accept this model remains a central question for the institution. This chart shows annual public support for the monarchy versus a republic. For 2 decades, approval has remained consistently high, generally exceeding 70%. While the public remains supportive, the political class accepts the institution on the condition of absolute neutrality and powerlessness. Future threats include the possibility of a gerontocracy, a series of elderly monarchs due to the requirement of lifelong service. The monarchy also must remain a Protestant, a requirement that may prove difficult to maintain in a multi-faith and secularising society. The monarchy's reliance on celebrity culture and press spectacle provides relevance, but also threatens the dignity required for its long-term survival. The modern monarchy functions as a regulated constitutional safety net that survives through its public spectacle and social utility. Thank you for watching. Like, comment and subscribe. See you next time.